how do we know if the line is solid or dashed?
Or equal to is solid.
Yeah, if it has an equal to, so less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, that's solid. If there is no equal to, it is a dashed line. Second thing, we had to shade on these based off the inequality. So we know with an inequality, less than meant we were going to shade where? Less than was below the line, greater than was above the line. So we're doing the same thing today, but we are going to have more than one inequality. So a system of linear inequalities is two or more inequalities grouped together. The solution is the overlap of the shaded regions. Okay. So today on your work, we are going to have multiple things that we are shading. It might be helpful, if you want to use a highlighter or a colored pencil, you can. Otherwise, shade really lightly at first, and we will darken in the final answer. So we do have to pay attention there. All right. So let's take a look at number one. First of all, if we want to graph those inequalities, what do we have to do? Right. It has to be y equals mx plus b form. This one is, so we start with our y-intercept. So -1, I start at -1. My slope is -1. So you could go down 1 and right 1, or up 1 and left 1. Solid or dashed line? Dashed, because there's no equal to. Oops, turn to this page, please. Do you need a pencil? All right, then am I shading above or below this line? Above. Greater than is above. Do this very lightly because it's not my final answer yet. So you are just lightly shading this in right now. Everything above this line works. Now we have a second inequality. So y is less than x minus 5. So to graph that, we start at a y-intercept of 5. My slope is 1, so up 1 over 1. Solid or dashed? Dashed again because there's no equal to. Where does this one ask us to shade? Below. So think about, we talked about the y-intercept. So below this looks like that. Okay, so again, that's lightly shaded in. My answer is the overlap. Where did I shade both of those? This region right here. So that is the actual answer. I need to be able to tell that when I look at your paper. So this is the area that you are darkening in. So that needs to be darker than the rest of it. If you need to go back and erase some of your other shading, if that's too dark, you're welcome to. You can use a different color if you need to, or just darken that in. But it's the pieces in this region that make both original inequalities true. Any point in there would work.
Good. Could you scroll up a little more so I can finish right down?
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome. questions on that? Okay, did you get it?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go ahead and look at number 3 together. Okay, the very first thing I have to do when I look at this first inequality, I have to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract my x. So I have negative 4y is less than or equal to negative x plus 24. Then we have to divide by negative 4. With an inequality, if you divide by a negative, what happens? Okay, so I get y is greater than or equal to. Negative 1 over negative 4 is positive 1/4. 24 divided by negative 4 is negative 6. Subtract that, we start at negative 6. Slope is 1/4, so up 1 over 4. Or you could go down 1 and left 1. Solid or dashed?
Solid.
Solid, because this one has an equal to. Okay, now we need to ask ourselves, where am I shading?
Above.
Greater than is above. So this is not your final answer, so you are just lightly coloring in above that line. So we currently know it has to be something above this line. Then we graph the second line. So it has a y-intercept of 1, slope of 2, that's like 2 over 1, so up 2 over 1. Or you could go down 2 and left 1. Okay, that one also would be solid because it has an equal to. And which side are we shading for that one? Below. So we were here, so below it would be this region. So the overlap is this section in between my two lines. That's where you need to darken it in. If I can't tell that that's darker than the rest, I don't know that that's your solution. Okay, so either go back and erase your extra shading or darken that in. I want you guys to try number 5 for me. Alright, let's check. So first one you have to get y by itself, so subtract the 4x. So negative 5y greater than or equal to negative 4x minus 35. Divide everything by a negative. Because we divided by a negative, the inequality flips. So we have y is less than or equal to 4/5 x plus 7. So we start at 7. Slope is up 4 over 5, or you could go down 4 and back 5. So solid or dash for that one?
Solid.
Solid because it had an equal to. Okay, less than means I'm currently shading below this line. So that's the first line of shading. Then we do the second one. So we start with negative 2. Slope is negative 1, so you can go up 1 and backwards 1, or down 1 and right 1. That one is dashed because it did not have an equal to. You were greater than, which is above the line. So my overlap region is between these two lines to the right. And that whole thing needs to be darkened in. That is our solution. Any point in that region makes both of them true. What would happen if you had two lines and there was no overlap? So let's say I graphed the first one and it looked like this, and I graphed the second one and it looked like this. So they're parallel lines, there's no overlap. What would my answer be? No solution. If you happen to have that parallel lines and they don't overlap at all, you can say no solution for that. Okay, we are getting better, but a couple of us still had some mistakes on that one. So let's try another one. Let's go to number 9. So if I'm graphing the first one, I subtract my 3x. So I have negative y is less than negative 3x plus 6. Divide everything by negative 1. Dividing by a negative flips the inequality. So y is greater than 3x minus 6. Start at negative 6. Slope is 3 or 3 over 1, so you can go up 3 and over 1 or down 3 and backwards 1. Solid or dashed?
Dash.
So that because there's no equal to. So a couple of you still aren't paying attention to what kind of line you need. Make sure you look at that. Greater than, if you're struggling there, think about, here's my y-intercept. I want greater than, so I need to be above my y-intercept. So I'm looking at this region here. Second line, I subtract my 3x. I have negative y is greater than negative 3x minus 2. Divide by negative 1. So y is less than 3x plus 2. Start at 2, slope of 3, so up 3 over 1. Again, no equal to, so dashed line. Where does this one tell me to shade? Less than says below my y-intercept, so I'm shading this. So what's the overlap? In between.
Oh, never mind.
So that little region in between is our solution. You guys do number 10. If we get it, then I will stop for today. So show me that you understand. Try number 10. So, solving for y, you subtract the 5x. So 2y greater than or equal to negative 5x plus 4. Divide by 2. Because it's a positive, my inequality does not flip. So we start at 2. Slope negative 5 halves, so down 5 and over 2. Or you could go up 5 and backwards 2. Has an equal to, so solid line. Greater than means we were shading this side of the line because the y's were bigger. Second one, subtract x. Divide by 4. So y is less than negative 1/4 x minus 2. Start at negative 2, then down 1 over 4 or up 1. Left 4, and this one did not have an equal to, so that is dashed. Less than is below, so we're shading down here, so the overlap region is this corner. Make sure you're darkening that in so I can tell those are your solutions. Okay, we did pretty well on that one, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the homework, and I'm only going to ask you to do the odd problems. Okay.